I think people think that with this type of a career, it's difficult to create structure. But I actually think that structure is what's helped keep me really sane and looking forward to waking up tomorrow and having an organized day.
You need to really love what you do as a musician to wake up every morning and want to go at it again and have discipline to hold yourself accountable.
If I can answer in 5 to 10 years saying, am I really happy right now with where I'm at with my music? And the answer is yes, I think I've done a good job.
I want to do more independent music, and by that I don't mean like just doing indie music. I mean ki I want my life to be independent from music.
If the internet were to disappear, who would you be?
I was literally want to say that. I was thinking that like right now.
It's like Shreyas and Gini are having a competition about who has the hardest quote today.
Right.
Well, that's so wonderful. We've spoken about support systems, and actually you all sort of self-answered something that I really wanted to ask you all. Who are the confidants and who are your support systems? Who are the people that, you know, in your musical aspirations have always aided you and always given you the right advice? We've of course spoken about, Gini mentioned something really wonderful, that keep your ego at the door. And you know, with so much of chatter and so much of stimulation in the form of followers and subscribers and engagement, you probably lose yourself and start equating yourself to those numbers and start thinking that, oh, I am these numbers, so I'm supposed to act a certain way. How do you all keep yourself sane in a situation like that? What is it that you all tell yourself again and again?
Oh, can I actually go with that?
Oh, absolutely.
If the internet were to disappear, who would you be?
I was literally want to say that. I was thinking that like right now.
It's like Shreyas and Gini are having a competition about who has the hardest quote today.
No, but that is exactly right. I don't let it stress. Yeah.
If
I was
it
thinking
were
that,
to
man.
disappear, I know, and you know, sometimes people give this as a solution. They're like, okay, अरे तुम्हें hate मिल रहा है तो internet बंद कर दो ना. हाँ ठीक है कर दिया. Now what? Where do you stand? What will happen to you? Who will see this? Who will hear what you've done? Nobody will. What? It's gonna be the physical remnants of what you've created with your art that will survive past you, that will outlast you. I will cease to exist one day, but my art shall not, and that is why I make it. So that's the fun part of it.
Wow, so well answered. To quote Pawan Singh, data khatam, khel khatam. What about you, Akhil?
Yeah, I think family for sure.
Yeah.
Like, no, they don't care about anything outside that house. There, you could become the biggest star in the world, and they'll still be like, "Aap khana nahi khaya hai, ye nahi kiya hai, wo nahi kiya hai." So, yeah, my dadu dadi don't know what's happening on Instagram or who's following me or what's going on. Like, if they tell me something's changed, or then I know something's off. Then I know I got to straighten up, because they've seen you every day of your life, like since you've grown up. Not someone you've met once, not someone you've met twice. They know you better, like as good, if not better than you know yourself. And you'll be able to tell that change like that. So I think making sure that you keep the OGs close to you and you stay real. And it happens. Like when success and fame is very quick, which I have not experienced that way yet, but when it happens very suddenly, then things change in your life very fast. And you should stay the same.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Aarya?
I just talked to my younger brother.
Oh yeah, the roasting. No, absolutely.
Yeah,
They're
really
brutal.
Really humbling.
Hoga tu kahin ka star.
There was during my second EP, I went into the studio and I created a song, right? And I was so kicked about that song. I was like, dude, this song is sounding so good, this, that, and everything. And I played it I played the whole EP to him. He's usually my sounding board, and my mum as well, and my dad as well, obviously. But it's his advice that I take a lot more seriously. So I played it to him, and he was just like, dude, like, this is not it. Like,
Oh dear.
this is not sounding that great. So I was like, okay, like, what do you not like about it? He's like, nothing. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like on top of the world and everything, but then it just went back into the studio, kind of reworked the entire song, technically changed the entire song. Like,
Right.
it's just like, and I just felt like I needed that in that moment, because the moment someone tells you something that you don't want to hear is when you feel like, okay, like, you need to be at this field where you kind of have to like
That's
look
what,
at things.
That's
and,
what
like,
ends up helping you the most.
Yeah, those are the ones that help you the most, actually. Yeah, or my like I talk to my friends as well. My friend, you know how friends are. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know Whiplash, where Fletcher finally gives him that smile in the end.
oh
At the
yeah,
end.
the smile that isn't revealed.
Yeah, so he's like the worst two words in the English dictionary. A good job. Obviously, that's like a very extreme thing.
Yeah.
But my piano teacher as well, growing up, like she's like, okay, you did this. So or your family as well, you did this. Okay, cool, congrats. Like it's good. But supporters obviously are very superlative about these things, and you're like the best, and you're amazing, and you're all of that. But you know why your family never says that to you is because they care the most about you, and it's like it's cool.
Wow.
This is your job, right? So
Yeah. So well said.
Repeat the question again.
Thank you.
What is that one thing that you sort of like the people around you tell you to keep you sane? Like, what is that one thing that you sort of remind yourself to not equate your success to the numbers or the metrics that you have, and remind yourself that
No,
you
I think it's so there is so how my upbringing has been. Okay, for example, in my childhood, I was like a very happy kid. Very happy kid, died very well-to-do, etc. We had a jeweler shop in Kulava. I grew up in Kulava. Jeweler shop in Kulava. I'm from Ratnagiri. We had a jeweler shop in Ratnagiri. Everything was very nice. Until I think it was around 2008, 9, etc. We used to stay in a joint family. Okay. And there is just shit going on inside a joint family. At that point, there were too many things were happening, and all of us were going in all different direction. And there was a certain sort of a downfall for my family, which I saw. And then I saw from like having everything, and in 1 year just we had nothing. Aisa. So then I believed, okay, at one point we had everything, and this next year I'm waking up, we don't have what we had. Life completely changed. So that thing always keeps me humble. Ki, like, don't let it get to your head, because you know your dad had everything that you wanted in the world, and after one point we just didn't have anything. And now then the whole story became about gaining whatever you had again. So that thing like always keeps me humble.
temporary and transient.
Yes.
Materialistic things in life can be
Yes.
that. Wow. How about you, Shriya?
Can you repeat it one more time for me?
for
Sorry,
sure, for
that
sure.
copy
So-
is not hitting.
No, I completely get it. There are like 5 answers, so you can definitely. So, what my question was that the people around you, your support system, what is that one thing that they tell you to keep you sane and humble and grounded?
Okay. So for me, I think the only thing that really surpasses looking at good numbers and validation is the connections that you formed along the way that have led to that point of success, right? So it's working with a producer that you really connect with, someone that's understood you as a person, not just your musical side. And like when you think about memories, right? I'm not going to think about, oh yeah, this was like the best moment of my career. For me, what's more important is the people that I met and the people that I love and taking care of them. So I like to focus more on the process, if that's an answer, and more on the people rather than, you know, like you're saying, materialistic things. And I think emotion surpasses all of that.
Wow. I think we've got a very well-rounded perspective from everyone. Okay, so, you know, there's a lot of appreciation that comes your way. And people think that musicians lead a certain life. You know, they're always gigging, always, you know, stage diving into crowds, crowd surfing, and are like royalties are like coming in trucks to their houses, and they're just always in the booth and like finishing verses in 15 minutes. You know, there are all of these misconceptions.
Everything is right apart from the royalties.
एक ट्रक है पूरे बॉम्बे के लिए एक ट्रक है.
So I would actually like to ask you all, putting your feet into the game, the skin into the game. What is that one misconception that you had when you were aspiring to be a musician that you thought would be the ground reality, and actually after being in the game, realize that this is not what it is, and something that people get wrong about being a musician, the general consensus of it?
Like there's 1,800 people like you out there. Like you can be like you can be completely. For example, sometimes I think, okay, we are doing something very unique, etc., etc. And now, for example, one more of my artist friend from this part of the country is doing very well. Okay, I know him, but there are 10,000 people who don't know him. Okay, but then I think there are more 500 artists like that which I also don't know. So that sort of humbles me, because even though you can be very special, you also have to know that you are not the only one. There's too many people. And the amount of things that are happening today, it's very easy to be replaced if you don't keep up. You have to prove yourself every day. It's not that you can give one nice project and then you can get set for life or set for a year. Every day you have to prove yourself, and that humbles me and that makes me work harder, is what I think.
Wow.
I think, and there's no like real elegant way to put this, but people think musicians are really lukha. Like they just wake up, the song just happens magically, then they go on do one gig, bas khatam, right? But actually, let me rephrase. I think people think that with this type of a career, it's difficult to create structure. But I actually think that structure is what's helped keep me really sane and looking forward to waking up tomorrow and having an organized day, right? Because there's so much to do when you think of a musician, and especially if you're somebody that's doing, like we're talking about wearing multiple caps, songwriter, singer, dubbing artist, whatnot, right? Organizing your day and just having a schedule that you have put together, it's so important. And I think that people need to prioritize that more and also just recognize that that structure really goes a long way.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I think, I mean, for me, I'll give you an example. So after my 12th grade, I took a gap year, all right? Which for Indian students, it's completely
Blasphemy.
unheard of. Like,
Blasphemy.
I have taken
you took one too?
Yeah, I've taken 3, so
Like,
I
I mean, I think you'll agree with me. Like,
Let's go.
that gap year was
grueling.
perhaps the most maturing experience of my life. And to add to that, in fact, I took a gap year after my 12th grade, and my parents, like my family who I lived with, they moved to a completely different country. So I was, and it was great. I was an 18-year-old kid living in Bombay all by himself.
Let's go.
So that was amazing. But the moment I kind of approached my parents saying, yo, can I take a gap year? I didn't say yo, but yeah, can I take a gap year?
Yo, can I take a gap here?
And I was really expecting like a lot of pushback, but they were like, yeah, cool, take it. But then they were saying, you tell us what you're going to do for these 3 months, the next 3 months, the next 3 months, the next 3 months. I was like, okay, fair enough. I'll come up with a plan. Came up with a full plan, start to finish, first 3 months, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, kya karna hai. And they were like, cool, okay, fine, we trust you. Go ahead, and now you go for it. Whatever happens, you go for it. I was only, and it was basically a gap year to focus on my music because I was kind of stepping foot into the industry. And the gap year started, nothing went according to plan. Zero, like absolutely nothing. But at the same time, whatever I had planned got replaced by something else. It wasn't like I was just doing nothing through that gap year.
Yeah.
Started off with the stage, like the reality show that I was
Nice.
like that happened. Got on that. I was an 18-year-old kid from the confines of his school being put onto national television. For me, that was like, what is happening? I was also the youngest on the show, so I was learning from people who were like 6 years into on the show, 6 years into the industry, 10 years into the industry, 15 years into the industry, the judges as well. So that happened. That led to more gigs. The gigs led to collaborating with renowned producers. Like I went for a few gigs with Clinton Cerejo, and kind of was the backing vocalist for him. Started working on my first EP then as well. So that happened as well. My first time stepping foot into a music studio. That was what it was. So all these things, like the things that I kind of learned from that is just like, I kind of got a sense of what it is like to be a musician in that 1 year. Like, and then the Bacardi thing happened. And it was just like constant work. And I was so happy it was constant work because the last thing, like I'm not the kind of person who would like to be at home and do nothing. Like I always need something to do. People get a little annoyed because like, I always feel like, Aarya, let's just do something. Like I don't like just sitting idle. So all that happened and I was like, okay, so this is what it's going to take. It was almost like a trailer as to this is what you're going to have to do into 100. So that kind of set me for like the next, few years till now that I've kind of kept in mind. So I kind of had this perception of what it is to be a musician. What you see on the screen is nothing like what it actually is, to be honest.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
I feel like a misconception that I had at least that perhaps was very quickly shattered very brutally by this city and the industry was that life becomes easier once you reach a certain stage. I was very naive to think that, but I moved out of the house when I think as soon as I turned 18, I came to Mumbai on my own for the first time.
Wow.
3 days after my 18th birthday last year.
Wow.
So it was a little crazy. And then I moved to Mumbai also the same year, last year. And I was like, okay, cool. So once I reach a certain stage, once I have essentially cleared all of the debt you accrue as an artist who's trying to make it, and now you have money of your own, it becomes easier. It does not become easier. And not just in the economics of it, but in the actual living your life sort of aspect of it, because once you are in it, you're like, हाँ मुझे ये भी करना, ये भी करना, ये भी करना, ये भी करना. I'll do everything possible and I won't stop, and I will do everything. I will accrue the most, I will do the most, I will put out the most music. But in that process, you just sort of lose a lot of people that perhaps had been there for a very long time. You don't lose them, it just the distance increases, and then you realize, oh, this is the adulting that everybody talks about.
There's a cost.
Yeah, the cost of working so hard on your own is that distance gets introduced into your life, and now you have to relearn a lot of things. You have to relearn ki nahi, I have to make that move to close that gap so that I have a life outside of my work as well.
Yeah.
So people assume that when you become an artist or a musician or a singer or a performer, suddenly life becomes really easy. You have a lot of friends, you have a really shiny life or whatever, but it really isn't that way. It becomes more difficult to maintain that. Also because there is some level of competition to it. And when that comes into play, you really need to work on maintaining the relationships that you have with people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Akhil?
I think, going off what Shriya said, discipline is really important, because this is a job where, regular jobs or a 9 to 5, you wear a specific uniform, you have a boss to report to, you have a different place of work that you go to every day. There's a switch on and a switch off, and a very distinct line between your personal life and where you go to do your work. So you're accountable to someone, and after being in an institution like school where everything is in a system, then being in a college where again you're protected by an institution, you basically go to another institution. And there's a system there, there's a time to report, there's a person. That structure keeps people alive. You need to really love what you do as a musician to wake up every morning and want to go at it again, and have discipline to hold yourself accountable, because I'm not answerable to anyone. Like, if I don't do anything for the next 3 days, no one's gonna check up on me like, hey, did you finish that song? Like, I have to. Or did you make that content piece, or did you do that? Like, you don't want to do it sometimes, but you have to. And when I finished college and finished studying finance and all of that, I'm like, finally, I can do music, and I'm going to get everything I ever wished for. And now I have this year to just do music and make music. And you get thrown into this vast ocean to just swim, and like you're finding your way and struggling to keep your head above water. And it's much tougher than you think, and you romanticize it. Ki ab to main music banaunga. All my wishes have come true. I can make music full time. But what I've learned is that it's tough to keep yourself disciplined, and you have to grow into that. And people think it's an easy job ki sab matlab bandiyan hoti hai, paise hote hain, ye hota hai, wo hota hai. Kuch nahi hai aisa. You know, it's my dad always says that we don't think that you're doing the easier thing by taking music as a career. You've taken the harder way out. You know, people that work jobs, taking nothing away from them, and work very hard, they have a very set structure and a lot of security and a lot of mental, I don't know, they can detach
Sanctity.
Sanctity from that sense. We're constantly thinking about that, and having to deal with it, and having to make our own discipline. So it is a harder way out, and it's like being an entrepreneur. Absolutely. Like exactly like it. Your business and your product is your music, and
Absolutely.
you're working on the marketing and the product and the making sure you're growing as an artist yourself, and you're staying healthy, and everything is taken care of, and making money and whatever. So.
Wow. So well answered, so well rounded. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you all.
Thanks, man.
And this brings me to my last question that I have for you all. Thank you so much for being you to everyone. You know, I just want to say this because you all have really not minced any of your words. You all have not been translucent. You all have rather been only transparent. And I think for all the people watching, maybe even you all might watch this 5 years later and think that what a jackass host.
That we think now.
Oh wow, I still think the same. 5 years later, 10 years later. But I would actually want to ask you all, this sounds like a very corporate interview question, but this is a question that really holds a lot of truth because it serves your larger vision, your larger motive with whatever you're doing. with the ever evolving landscape of music in our country at this point of time, actually not only our country, the world, the rules are being made there, we are just playing them here in a way. How do you see yourself in the scene with the genres that you want to dabble into, with the impact that you want to create, and with continuing everything that you're doing? Making the music that you are. What is it that you really want to see happen or come to fruition in the next 5 to 10 years?
Okay, I love this question.
Thank you.
I want to build this community where people feel like they can cry and dance at the same time. And that is what I'm trying to do with my music. And I think in the next 5 to 10 years, I see myself playing to hopefully larger audiences, because I love playing live. That is like the most fulfilling feeling.
Right.
And I'm actually very, very excited, and this has been a personal goal of mine for a while, to collaborate with international acts that I have been listening to and I've grown up listening to.
Right.
So that's a goal that I'm actively working towards. And I can see that happening in the next 5 years.
Oh, lovely. Here's hoping that comes to fruition. Shreyas, what about you, brother?
I think if you're talking next 5 to 10 years, I think I want to do more independent music, and by that I don't mean like just doing indie music. I mean ki I want my life to be independent from music. For where I'm going is ki I want to be only passively in the music business. I don't want to like actively put out songs so that I can make money. I want to set up other things that will make money for me, and then I can just release music without having return on investment for it. That's the stage I want to reach where I can just put the music career on autopilot.
Right.
We make money from other businesses. So my music making process doesn't have any expectations over it.
Correct.
Because right now that's what is the problem, which the reason you have a pressure, because you always have to be seen. Your face always has to be out there if you want to be relevant, or if you want to like exist or even make money in the music industry. And the reason, for example, since I've been rapping since a lot of time, I only decided to do this full time very recently, because at the start I used to think, okay, now if I start like making music as a business, then I have to like sort of change some things in my music according to what's going on in the market, etc., etc. Then doing it for a long time, you understand that's not true. You can be innovative enough and like crack a balance. You don't have to like sell out or do whatever for it. You can like honestly do it. But after I realized, being in the music industry, you realize how the music industry is placed. It's very anti-artist, and long term, I don't want to be in it. I want to be independent of the music business and make my music on my own as how I like.
Wow, more power to you. And you really described what probably being an independent artist could be. There are a lot of misconceptions.
Yes.
Non-film music is also looked at as independent music, and I mean, in the yesteryears, of course, some of our favorite artists were considered to be indie, but were with labels, and there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever floats your boat. What about you, Aarya?
So, I mean, I think I've said this before as well. I just want to be happy with my music. Like that's
Exactly right.
plain and simple. I just want to be happy in the next 5 to 10 years. Obviously with my music. I mean, more shows is going to get me that. More songs are going to get me that. More collaborations are going to get me that. But yeah, that's my be all and end all. If I can answer in 5 to 10 years saying, am I really happy right now with where I'm at with my music? And the answer is yes, I think I've done a good job. So yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, I want to sell out a world tour.
There's a competition going on who has the most beautiful, wholesome, depthful answer. And I think all of you all are winning. Gini, what about you?
I mean, as I was thinking, मैं क्या बोलूं? It was, there's just so many thoughts running into my head because there's so many little dreams and goals and aspirations. I'll just rattle off some of the first things that come into my head. And this is something that I'd written and put up in front of my production wala wall, जहाँ पे मेरा setup है. I said, I want to be the greatest that I can be. And that sort of percolates into everything that I want to do, whether it be with regards to my music. I want to put out as many albums as I can in my life, because to me an album is a contiguous story that is told because of how, of course, you structure it. I want more people to be able to listen to my music and place themselves in it as though their life is a movie, and that is the soundtrack to their movie, something for them to lean back upon. That is about my music. And then, of course, in terms of what I want to do besides that is I feel like I have a knack for marketing. So
I would completely agree. For sure.
Definitely do.
You should be given an honorary marketing MBA degree By I am.
But it's something that I have a lot of fun doing. It's something that comes easy as well, and it's just really like it allows me also to sort of like unpack from it, because it's just brain dumps essentially, and molding it together into something that I know is good in achieving the goal that it needs to. And I'd love to scale that. I'd love to see at first if I'm doing it on a whim or if it is something that I can scale. But if it is something I can scale, I would love to have set up something wherein I can do that as well on the side.
For sure. And you really paid attention during your geography classes, I must say. If you also got Akhil, how about you, brother?
So very honestly, with things ever evolving and with trends coming in and trends going, I don't care, because what I've tried to, the music that has found me, I should say, is something that I hope is relevant 50 years in the future and was relevant 50 years ago. It is timeless. It is meant to be something that like stands the test of these trends and time. So I create freely. I don't care about what's going on, you know. If a Jeff Buckley song or a Radiohead song can be trending on Reels today, it's because it's still good music. If those people are the last people in the world that would think about making a hook or a Reels idea, they'd probably throw up at the thought of it. But it's here and it's trending, right? But if you make it with that intent, it'll never happen. So I'm here to make music that will stay for the next generation and the previous one. And success is to me keeping myself healthy, my family healthy, and making music that I'm happy with.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, on that note,
Let's go.
guys, please clap for yourselves. Thank you so much. We are getting some other applause as well. Thank you so much, folks. Well, this has been an absolute pleasure. And you all have been nothing short of amazing. I really hope that this is something that I genuinely a sentiment, and I felt that.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you,
really.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you. You know, I always wanted this to be a celebration of the artists that y'all are and the art form, and I feel that in every action that y'all are doing, with the way your intentions are, they are so noble. The way y'all are going about your music, I feel y'all are celebrating the art form that y'all are in, and I mean, it's so heartwarming to see. So I really hope that everything that y'all want comes to fruition 10 folds and 100 folds and 1,000 folds, and the world is your oyster and the sky is your limit. So thank you so much for your time, guys.
94.3 Radio 1.